Thank you. Good evening. Coming up on the programme, facing violent threats while just trying to do their jobs.
He unzipped his jacket and pulled a gun out on us and held it in my face.
We report on the shocking abuse some road workers face on the M25 from angry drivers. There are now calls for a crackdown on abusive motorists. Also tonight. An inquest finds officers were not implicated in the death of Sabina Rizvi, who was shot outside a police station. We hear from her family after a 20-year campaign for answers. Plus, when is a mural not a mural? Why this one is causing controversy in southeast London.
And I'll be speaking to teenage skateboard sensation Sky Brown about her hopes for more Olympic medal success this summer.
Hi there, a very warm welcome to the programme. We start tonight with the road workers threatened and abused while trying to do their jobs, calling for a crackdown on abusive drivers. Some have described the anger and objects thrown at them, including bottles and dirty nappies. Figures obtained by the BBC show hundreds of incidents against highway workers, with some involving knives, machetes and even guns. This special report is from Ben Moore.
There's no friends there. Are you backward? Are you backward? Friendly. There's no friendly here.
It's a dangerous job, like the physical side of it, and then you've got all the abuse side of it, which makes it 10 times more dangerous.
I don't think anybody that works in roadworks hasn't experienced road rage or abuse from members of the public.
This is the reality of the day job for our road workers.
The abuse can vary from swearing to physical to one time someone actually pulled a gun out on me.
Sinead had just been laying out cones to close a road when she encountered an irate motorist.
We'd put our lane closure on, just shut one lane of traffic, and he was like, "What do you do?" like that at me. And then with that he unzipped his jacket and pulled a gun out on us and held it in my face. You just kind of freeze. You don't really know. It's like a pinch me moment. Is that real? So then I rang the police, and then armed response were there in minutes, and they were fantastic. And yeah, he got caught. So you'd have one on the back, unstacking the cones. You'd be this close from traffic, putting it out onto the road.
Sinead has been a road worker since she was 18, and she's now in charge of a crew.
I thought I was fine after it. You feel like you become quite numb to these situations because they happen on a daily. But now, every time I go anywhere, I'll take my vest off, just to make yourself feel less of a target.
And Sinead is not alone.
I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been run over, objects being thrown, we get urine, dirty nappies, bottles.
The M25 A3 junction is one of the busiest set of roadworks in the UK. 270,000 cars pass through here every day, and heavy traffic makes tempers fly.
No, it's getting worse. We're seeing more and more cars on British roads, and we're seeing a lot more anger and rage when people are driving. We've been doing this a long, long time.
Even during this interview, the cones seem to be a problem for one driver.
Did you see that guy?
He just come over the curb.
He just came through the cones.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence. The people just don't care. They just want to get to where they're going.
An industry awareness campaign says there were more than 2,000 reports of road worker abuse in England last year.
So the minute you close a road, people get angry. You know, all your road closures, your diversions, the diversion signs that people can't see and find.
Steve spent 12 years on the roads in and around the southeast, but now as a family man, he's opted for a desk job.
I had one quite severe incident where a member of public in the London area was actively threatening to kill me. He was trying to open my van door. He wanted to get me out of the van. I called the police and he was later arrested and dealt with. But obviously from that point on, I was in the position where mentally, I don't want to return to that site.
As well as the physical danger from abuse, there's the impact on workers' mental health.
It slowly builds up, and you soon realise that it's just ground you down and it deflates you, and you've normalised abuse, you've normalised going to work and being shouted at, being sworn at.
They are the kind of intermediary that we can see when we're in our cars and we're feeling cross and agitated. And I think there is something special about happens in a car where you feel separated from the world and you can turn into the worst version of yourself.
Psychologist Jane Ogden's office is just down the road from the Surrey roadworks. She often has to queue through them too.
I mean, there are simple things that you can do. You can listen to music, you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to the radio. But I think the most useful thing is just to tell yourself that there's actually nothing I can do about it. I've just got to sit here.
Offences committed at roadworks aren't limited to abusing workers. Even driving through the cones could have serious consequences.
Lane incursions is where people ignore road signs and directions and drive through road closures or partial lane closures, which has literally caused road workers to die for safety and is so dangerous. There really is no place to hide because you will be detected and traced through your vehicle if you're not arrested at scene.
Even though experiencing abuse seems to be part of the job, these workers say they'll still be fixing and improving our roads.
It's a job that excites me, it thrills me. I like building things, I like constructing things, but I shouldn't have to come to work and suffer that kind of abuse.
Everyone's like, I couldn't do it, and I think you can, you shouldn't have to do it. Like, you shouldn't have to put up with that.
Why do you still do this job if it's so dangerous?
Because I love it.
Ben Moore, BBC London News.
The family of Sabina Rizvi, who was shot dead outside a police station 21 years ago, say they are deeply disappointed after a coroner said there was insufficient evidence that officers should have done more to protect her. She was shot dead outside a police station in Bexley Heath in 2003. Although a man was convicted of her murder, her family spent years campaigning for an inquest to examine the police's role on the night she died. In a moment, their reaction after a reminder of the case by Sonia Jessup.
I'm so angry. I've lost my heart and soul.
A mother desperate for answers. This was Ifat Rizvi speaking to us several years after her daughter Sabina was murdered.
And I pray that one day the people responsible for taking my child's life will be brought to justice.
But it's taken 21 years to finally have a full inquest into her daughter's death.
The fight to get a full inquest to establish what really happened that terrible night has been long and hard, and we have endured much grief and pain along the way.
Sabina was shot dead in March 2003 as she left Bexley Heath police station. On the night she died, Sabina had been interviewed by officers here about a car that she'd bought days earlier. Police told her it had been reported stolen in a carjacking.
Sabina asked her boyfriend, a convicted drug dealer called Mark Williams, to bring the car here to be searched. Now, he matched the description of one of the robbers, so police arrested him. They found that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and when they took it from him, they realised it was a Met Police vest.
CCTV shows the couple in a car leaving the station, closely followed by two other vehicles. Minutes later, Sabina Rizvi was shot dead. Mark Williams survived. In 2004, this man, Paul Asprey, himself a known criminal, was convicted of murder. It was he who'd reported the car stolen.
Paul Asprey was released from prison last year. He gave evidence at the inquest. He insisted that he'd been targeting Mark Williams and not Sabina. He refused to name anyone else involved in the shooting, and he denied that he'd had a corrupt police source who'd been tipping him off that Mark Williams was here.
Today, the coroner said there was no evidence officers had deliberately or inadvertently helped Asprey, and there was insufficient evidence to find they ought to have known there was a risk to Sabina's life or could have prevented her death. The inquest jury found that she'd been unlawfully killed. Sonia Jessup, BBC London.
Well, this afternoon, Sabina's mother, sitting with her son, has been giving her reaction to our reporter, Layla Hayes.
You fought for more than 20 years for this inquest, but today you said you were hugely disappointed with the outcome. Why is that?
I was very disappointed in regarding to the outcome of Judge Rafferty's ruling. I feel the police should have safeguarded her, protected her. They had duty of care towards her. And knowing what they knew.
You've described Sabina as the heart and soul of your family.
Yeah.
What has it done to your family losing her?
No words can explain that. She was. And, you know, she's still, she's still there living, you know, because don't forget she didn't die a death. She lost her life. It's like, you know, I do still have this, we still have the aura, her aura in the house. What devastates me, right, she spent the last 7 hours of her life in the police station. And the last call I had with her at 2:07, that was when she said, "Mum, I'm in the police foyer and I wanted her home." I made arrangements, right, for somebody to pick her up so I can pick her up halfway to get her home. I think it was a bit too late. They could not see any risk, yet they know she was there. And I cannot understand how they can justify all that.
That was Sabina Rizvi's mum, Ifat, giving her reaction to today's outcome to our reporter, Layla Hayes. People living close to the new HS2 rail station in Old Oak Common in West London say they're devastated their main road could be shut for 4 years. It comes as documents from Transport for London show it has high-level concerns about the station design, calling elements of it high risk. With this exclusive report, here's our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards.
Old Oak Common is a new mega station being built for HS2, the high-speed line between London and Birmingham. But it's right next to existing homes.
Through there are 2 primary schools, all of our local shops, the hospital.
Now HS2 has told residents this road could be shut for 4 years.
The council's telling us it could be longer. It is just absolutely devastating. I don't know how we'll get through it.
At Oakland Rise flats, they feel forgotten. The closure will mean a long detour.
The shopping centre, like everything is there, so it's obviously going to have a major impact on all of us.
It will make it difficult because all the shops around here is on that side.
Almost close to a disaster because it's our main road. It's the road that we use to commute to everything we need, school, GP.
There's still uncertainty around HS2. If private funding isn't found to build a station here at Euston, Old Oak could become the terminus. Passengers would have to change onto the Elizabeth line. But Old Oak Common would need redesigning. This document has been obtained by the residents and it shows a high level of concern from Transport for London about the new station design here. For example, there's a lack of bus stops, there's an increased risk of collisions and closures, TfL says, and also no modelling has been done outside the station for overcrowding in case there's disruption here. Also, TfL says forecasts do not include growth on the site due to development, and if there's disruption, there are limited onward options, it says. Residents also say the Planning Development Authority is not coordinating the project properly. You're not being thought about and you're being isolated.
Exactly. Definitely. That's exactly what we feel like.
I believe isolated now.
Yeah,
that I cannot
and
reach
we
the
feel
city
like
and the
they're
town.
treating us like dogs and animals, to be honest, not the human beings that we are.
The Planning Authority says it is working with communities to develop the site. HS2 says the 4-year road closure is just one option being looked at, and it will work with TfL to improve the station's plans. But critics say this is a project that's drifting. Tom Edwards, BBC London.
To the race for City Hall now, and as the mayoral campaign enters its 2nd week, an advert in support of the Conservatives candidate featuring scenes from New York instead of London has been deleted. The clip, posted on the party's X account, formerly Twitter, attacked the current Labour Mayor, Sadiq Khan, using footage of a stampede in a New York subway station. Well, we can talk to our political editor, Tim Donovan. Hi there, Tim, under your umbrella. This has caused quite a stir.
Yeah, this video dropped last night, as you say, and it had a voiceover with an American narrator intoning in really grave tones about how London had become the crime capital of the world. And of course, that was a capital run by a Labour mayor, was the key message. And in this video was this section.
Labour mayor seized power, has the metropolis teetering on the brink of chaos. And in the chaos, people seek a desperate reprieve.
And if you hadn't heard already, you may have noticed that that last shot there was not of London. It was of a station, Penn Station in New York, with people apparently scared, rushing to the exit. Sadiq Khan has given this response, thinking it is illustrative of negative campaigning, shall we say.
We've had the Conservative candidate doing tweets that she's now resigning from, liking tweets that she's now saying was a mistake, and now she's trying to walk away from this video that's not just doing down London, but it's telling an untruth. And I worry that the Conservatives are trying to hoodwink Londoners by this sort of negative campaign. Look, stop it.
So, Tim, what have the Tories had to say about this?
Well, not only has their candidate, Susan Hall, said that this was not her campaign team, it was a different section of the Conservative machinery, Conservative Central Office, part of a national ad campaign. But she also says that she hasn't and hadn't seen it, so she can't comment on its claims, nor indeed the apparent error in those pictures.
It's got nothing to do with my campaign. I am just too busy out there talking to Londoners, because Londoners will form what I intend to do as mayor. I'm listening to what people are saying, and they are not happy about crime on our streets at all.
Is it possible that this might have been intentional to get people talking? I think it'll definitely serve to get people thinking about crime in the capital and claims about whether it's going in the right direction under Sadiq Khan. You can never be absolutely sure in the digital age during elections that everything is as it seems. One thing that did happen today, for sure, was that the Greens launched their campaign with promises over transport and a new way to charge drivers. And Carl Mercer can tell us more.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here on this lovely sunny day in East London.
A cheery welcome in a suitably green location and a little wave from passers-by on the Regent's Canal.
It's really exciting to be here, sharing this moment in this campaign with you all. I love London.
This was the official launch for the Greens candidate for Mayor Zoe Garbett, where she set out the main themes of her campaign.
My priorities are those that I've heard from Londoners. I've heard that the city's too expensive, and that's what I've been talking about today. It's making London more affordable. So that's things like bringing down the cost of travel, bringing in free school meals for secondary school children, and really thinking about how we get a better deal for renters in the city.
She wants to bring back peak time free travel for the over 60s and make travel free for the under 22s.
And how much is that going to cost, that bringing in the freedom passes for the over 60s and also extending the oysters to
So in terms of the older people's travel, it's about 40 million. So we think that that's easy to find within the TfL budget, and from looking at reprioritising. And the younger people, I haven't got a figure for that one, but yeah, probably in the same region. Keep smiling, everyone. Trees!
There are plans too to consult Londoners on whether a new paper mile scheme should replace the current ULEZ and congestion charges. But does she think that'll be enough to take her to City Hall?
In terms of the chances, you smile, the chances of becoming mayor, realistically?
So the voting system has changed this time, which we think is a huge step back in democracy and it being first past the post. But I'm not going to wait in the wings until the election system changes. We want to give everyone in London the opportunity to vote Green.
I think people are seeing the same narrative from both the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. In some issues, they're pretty much indistinguishable. And actually, the Green Party are offering a totally different vision that's hopeful and unique. And I think people can get behind that.
The Greens have come third in the last 3 mayoral elections, beating the Lib Dems into 4th. They also have 3 London Assembly members. They'll be hoping for a similar performance this time round. Carl Mercer, BBC London.
And there is a list of all the candidates running for Mayor of London who've declared so far, that is, on our website, where you can also find information on what the Mayor does. Just head to bbc.co.uk/London. Now, after this Banksy mural appeared in East London last week, there's lots of discussion about what we class as art and who can and can't display their work in certain places. Well, a fish and chip shop owner from South East London has vowed to fight the council over whether this mural on one of its walls should be taken down. Greenwich Council says the painting at the Golden Chippy is an advert painted without permission and needs to go. Anna O'Neill has the story.
A few years ago, the Golden Chippy in Greenwich hit the headlines as London's best fish and chip shop. But in recent weeks, it's hit the headlines for another reason. A mural painted on one of its outside walls celebrating the Britishness of fish and chips by its Turkish Cypriot owner.
What made me do it is, well, this has got a history actually. I had an 18-foot one in front of the shop, above the door there. That was quite a bit of a fight, and in the end I had to give in and take it down. So I thought we'd do a miniature size of it on the wall.
A week ago, street artist Banksy said he was responsible for an acclaimed new mural near Finsbury Park, which has had thousands of visitors. For the past week, Londoners have been gripped by one question. It's a tale of two walls. What makes painting on one wall in North London art, while painting on another wall in South London is seen as vandalism?
We've got a German saying, and it is is that art or can I throw it away?
And what would you do in this case?
I'd keep it.
Thriving business, people, come here, they like it. It hasn't been defaced at all, which is something, which happens to a lot of murals. So I think, have to live and let live. Can't be too draconian about these things.
It's iconic to Greenwich. Like whenever people ask where we live, we just say Golden Chippy and then they know exactly where it is. So it definitely needs to stay.
Some have suggested it's the Union flag on this mural that might be the problem.
I'm more patriotic about this country than a lot of so-called patriots. So, Union Jack, fine by me. It's on my arm, it's in my heart, it's on my wall, it's everywhere.
Greenwich Council told us the advert has been painted without any permission in a conservation area close to a World Heritage Site. The council is acting according to the government planning laws, as it would with any unauthorised advert. It went on to say, any suggestions this is because of the Union flag are disingenuous and untrue. Chris isn't giving up his mural yet.
I understand what they're saying. That's why I decided to go and see my solicitor. He is dealing with the application side of it, but I think they need to get a life.
Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
Now, does the name Sky Brown ring a bell? She was just 13 when she won skateboard bronze at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, becoming the youngest athlete to win an Olympic medal for Team GB. Just look at that smile. Today, she's been showing off her skills by the River Thames. Chris Slegg went along and asked her about her golden aspirations this summer.
Sky Brown has competed all over the world, but even she's never performed anywhere quite like this.
It's definitely the coolest place I've ever skated. It's amazing having the beautiful background and being on, the buses. It's just insane.
Still only 15, last month she also tried to qualify for Olympic surfing, but will have to concentrate on skateboarding alone after narrowly missing out.
It was definitely hard because I was one spot away from qualifying for both, but it happens. I've got LA to look forward to, so I'm definitely going to aim for that, but still I'm super excited for Paris, and yeah, hopefully I can get a gold for Britain.
Sky Brown will take bronze. So gold now in her sights on the back of that Tokyo bronze, cheered on by Dad Stu. How has she coped with how life has changed since the success of Tokyo?
She copes with it really well. She's super down to earth and takes it in her own stride. It's obviously something we always worried about. We're a good support network as a family, and she has a good group of friends around her, and I think that's key to staying well grounded.
Among those passing by, the show stirred excitement and confusion.
What's actually going on here today?
We've got an Olympic medalist, Sky Brown. Do you recognise her? We're a bit far away, I guess.
No, yeah. I can now see her name on the buses.
She's just a pure talent, athlete through and through, and just so incredible and encouraging for anybody, whether you're a guy or a gal.
When you went to Tokyo, people who followed skateboarding knew about you. This time around, the whole world knows about you. Does that bring added pressure?
I don't feel pressure, it just makes me more excited to really show what I do, and hopefully I think I did get a bit stronger and bigger, so hopefully I can go higher and faster. But yeah, I just want to show what I love and how beautiful it is and show my style of it.
Style that's brought success already, and for this teenager, the sky's the limit. Chris Slegg, BBC London.
Wow, it really is. OK, let's get a check on the weather with Corsa. And I feel like the phrase mixed bag might be appropriate.
I think that's very appropriate, Riz, indeed. Yes, a mixed bag all the way through to the weekend. So, yes, it's quite unsettled. And today was a bit of a mixed bag as well, wasn't it? We had a lovely start to the day, some good spells of sunshine around, this lovely picture captured by one of our weather watchers. But a soggy end and evening commute too, with outbreaks of rain. Now, that rain was a bit slow to arrive in this afternoon, but you can see from the radar image of the last few hours, spreading in across the capital, a lot of it quite heavy at times, and it is still with us for the time being, but it will continue to clear northwards. So then for this evening, still quite wet out there for the next few hours, but that rain will continue to shift away to the north, and it becomes drier overnight with clearer spells, just 1 or 2 isolated showers, and temperatures, well, dipping to around 4 to 6 Celsius. Now, it means for tomorrow morning, initially, it will be a dry, bright start. Some showers around, but then we'll start to see cloud thickening and a band of showers spreading in. And some of these could be quite heavy at times. There may even be the odd rumble of thunder, some hail in the mix. We're left with sunshine and showers into the afternoon, and temperatures a bit cooler, 8 to 11 Celsius. And as we look ahead to tomorrow evening, well, still a few showers around, some clear spells, but then we'll start to see thicker cloud again overnight and outbreaks of rain. And some of this rain will be quite heavy overnight and temperatures around 4 to 7 Celsius. Now, it does mean for Thursday, it's not a day to forget the umbrella because it's going to be wet. There'll be a lot of cloud around, outbreaks of rain spreading in, some of this rain again heavy at times, and it will be windier as well. Now, these are the wind gusts in the black circles. There could be gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour quite widely, and temperatures around 10 to 12 Celsius. So still feeling quite cool in that wind and with that rain. But the all-important question is, as we look ahead to the Easter weekend, well, low pressure is staying with us, and around it, these weather fronts spreading through. And again, some of these could be quite heavy at times, bringing some showers, but there will be some drier weather as well. And that's your forecast for now.
It must be a bank holiday. Costa, thank you. And that is it. Thanks very much for joining us. By the way, there are some gorgeous pictures of dog sculptures in Canary Wharf, or Woof, on our website, all for a good cause. From me and everyone on the BBC London team. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.